Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Madden Franchise Fantasy Series, whatever the hell you guys want to call it at this point. As always, we're going to be taking a look at the Raiders and Broncos Week 1 game here. Earlier we did the Bears and Packers. That didn't really have too much impact on the games overall. If you were Evan, it was pretty good for you. Everybody else, it didn't really affect too much, though. In this game, we're going to have a shit ton of people, so buckle up. Do whatever the fuck you got to do, because we got a lot of players here. To kick things off with the quarterbacks, nobody started Jimmy Garoppolo, but we did have Russell Wilson being owned by MILF. In terms of the running backs, we had Josh Jacobs being owned by Pussy. We had Javonte Williams being owned by myself. In terms of the receivers, we had Courtland Sutton being owned by Mr. Steeler Girl. We had Devontae Adams being owned by Toxic Zenpai. I think that's it in terms of the receivers that we had. We had no tight ends yet, because at this point both teams didn't really have any big tight ends or anything like that. Both teams were still figuring out who the hell was going to start. Then in terms of the defensive, we'll actually go through the kicker stuff first. Daniel Carlson, kicker for Mr. Steeler Girl, and team defense, Denver, is going to be playing for Mr. Steeler Girl in this Week 1 game. Then for the linebackers, we had Divine Diablo for Booty Basher, Josie Jewell for myself. We had Alex Singleton for Pussy. We had, I think that's about it for the linebackers. In terms of the defensive backs, we had Justin Simmons for Dictatorship. We had, that's actually about it for our defensive backs. We had a guy named Dallin Leavitt, who actually didn't end up starting in that game for Karen's husband for Denver, so technically that's going to count, but he's probably not going to get any points. There's a chance of it, though. And then in terms of the defensive line, we have Max Crosby of Pussy as well. I think I mentioned everyone. Let me just double check on here. Yeah, that looks like it's about it. Players of note that are going to be absent during this game: Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver for the Broncos. There's also going to be the Broncos cornerback 4. I forget his name off the top of my head, but he's only a 72 rated overall player as it is, so it probably won't impact the game that much. Either way, I benched him. Then the Raiders are going to be out Chandler Jones, the outside linebacker. So you're going to be seeing a few decent names missing in this game, but not too many overall, just the main two, Jerry Jeudy and Chandler Jones. But the Broncos are going to be hurt when it comes to their cornerback core, to say the least, in this game. Something I also did in this specific game for setting it up is I replaced Hunter Renfrow as the wide receiver 2 for Jacoby Myers, just to make it scheme into how it went pretty much in real life. Other than that, let's get right into it. With this game, I don't really remember too much about this game. I don't think I actually got a chance to watch any of this game when it came to real life. I looked it up whenever I was making stuff happen for this video. The final score was like 17-16 or something like that. A very low-scoring game. Another thing to mention, too, is I forgot to really mention him, but he didn't end up starting at all this season. Tim Patrick, wide receiver 3 for the Broncos, was actually out for the season as well. So you're going to have Russell Wilson throwing to people you've never fucking heard of, probably. And that's just what happened in the game in real life. You have guys like Marvin Mims, who was a rookie going into this point in the season, and then you had Courtland Sutton, who was a respectable name, but the Broncos receiving, including the tight ends, are just horrible, to say the absolute least. I think Russell Wilson didn't really have a chance in hell to do anything this season. But either way, just thought that was kind of funny and worth mentioning. The Raiders are going to get a pretty solid kick return and get back out to the 26-yard line instead of the 25, so they'll get themselves a solid yard. Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo, who, like I said, at this point didn't start. Later in the season, we'll see probably some people playing Aiden O'Connell and starting him. Maybe we'll see a Jimmy Garoppolo start, but for now, nobody ended up starting him. We have Josh Jacobs of Pussy, Devontae Adams of Toxic, and nobody else on the starting squad for the Raiders. Alex Singleton of Pussy, and we have Josie Jewell of my team. And that's Josh Jacobs running to the right. He's going to lose a yard before being brought down by Kareem Jackson, the safety for the Broncos, who's going to end up playing only a partial season because he got suspended a few times for making illegal hits, but we'll get there when we get there. Also, Justin Simmons, owned by Dictatorship as well. This is going to be Josh Jacobs running to the left. He's going to be brought down by Alex Singleton. Also, I thought carefully about it, but I actually made Alex Singleton the linebacker 1, the middle linebacker 1, instead of Josie Jewell, which just means he's more likely to make big plays, but it doesn't really play too much of an impact, to be honest. But right there, you see him making a tackle. This is going to be a play action. The Raiders are going to look for a pass here. Block picked up by Josh Jacobs. It's going to be a pass to the left to Toxic Zen Pie's Devontae Adams. Looks like Justin Simmons is going to be the guy to bring him down. Nice pickup of 25 for Toxic Zen Pie, as well as a tackle solo for Catership, being Justin Simmons. That's a 1st and 10. Looks like the Raiders are going to be lined up at the Broncos' 49-yard line now. This is going to be a handoff to the left. He's going to cut towards the middle. This is going to be a pretty good run. He's going to get a block from Devontae Adams. He might be able to go all the way, but he's making too many cuts. He's going to break the tackle, though. Could he be off? Only Alex Singleton a beat. Alex Singleton, is he going to fuck over his own player? No. Alex Singleton just let him in. This shit's scripted. But no, Josh Jacobs, for Pussy, is going to get a huge touchdown on the play. I think that was about a 49-yard run, worth a shit ton of points for Pussy. On to attempt the extra point is Mr. Steeler Girl's Daniel Carlson. And again, Mr. Steeler Girl actually had Denver's defense in this game too, so he's probably not too happy about that, but at least he does get the extra point to somewhat help him out with that horrible drive right there for the Broncos defense. The Raiders on to kick it off. This is going to be Marvin Mims on the return. He's going to go from the left side. He's going to try to cut towards the further into the middle. It looks like he was going to go towards the left, but it looks like he did a double cut. But overall, not the best return. Gets to the 24-yard line. Could have gotten more, but not the worst return we've seen in the series so far, to say the absolute least. Just about under average. Let's see what these Broncos can do to respond. You have Milf, who owns Russell Wilson. I own Javonte Williams. Cortland Sutton by Mr. Steeler Girl. Max Crosby by Pussy. Devon Diablo by Booty Basher. And the first play is going to be a pass intended to the right. That's going to be incomplete, broken up by, I think that might be either Nate Hobbs or Marcus Peters. I can't tell. I think that might be Marcus Peters. I could be mistaken, though. 2nd and 10, the Broncos line up in the shotgun. They're going to do a pitch to the right to Javonte Williams, who's going to be immediately brought down by Max Crosby. That's going to count as a rush, not a catch, so that's going to lose me 4 yards worth of points, and that's going to gain Pussy a tackle for loss right there. Max Crosby already showing off his elite skills like he had in real life here. Max Crosby also already has his X Factor. Russell Wilson's lining up in the shotgun, getting immediately pressed. He's going to get a dump-off pass to Javonte Williams, who's going to be immediately brought down for a loss of 2 again. At least I get the catch for that one, so at least it makes somewhat of a positive. But he's going to be brought down by Robert Spillane, who will become a big impact later in the season for Mr. Steeler Girl. But for now, nobody really owned him. And the Broncos are going to be going 3 and out right off the bat, and they're going to be punting this ball right back off to the Raiders. Everything's pretty much going as good as it can for the Raiders. All 3 plays, they made the Broncos lose yards on offense. They went out there and got a touchdown on their first drive. They're also going to get a few yards on this return as well. Pretty much everything's going great. They're already at their own 48-yard line, which is fantastic field position, so they really won't have to do too much to score here. 1st and 10 at their own 48. Let's see what they end up doing here. They have Josh Jacobs in the single backfield. They're going to play action pass to Jacoby Myers to the right. He's going to break a tackle, but he's not going to get past Pat Surtain, the all-pro corner for the Broncos, after a pickup of 3. 2nd and 7 from the Broncos' 49-yard line this time. Let's see what Jimmy Garoppolo ends up doing here. He's going to look for a pass. It looks like he's looking towards the middle. He's now rolling out to the left. He's looking to the left. He's going to pass this one to, that's Austin Hooper, I believe, the former Titan and Falcon, who's going to be brought down by a mix of Broncos right there after a nice pickup for about 16, I want to say. 15. At this point in the season, too, Michael Mayer, the rookie, was not starting yet, so it's going to be Austin Hooper playing for the Raiders. 1st and 10 at the Broncos' 33-yard line, already in field goal range. You have Jimmy Garoppolo looking for a pass. He's going to get blitzed. He's going to get brought down. I think that's Baron Browning, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's Randy Gregory. Randy Gregory is going to get the sack on Jimmy Garoppolo. That's a very big play for Mr. Steeler Girl right there, and it definitely helps make up for all these yards and points the Broncos have already given up. 2nd and 21. This is going to be handoff to Josh Jacobs to the left. He's going to break a tackle, but he's going to get brought down by Alex Singleton. So Pussy overall is going to get a few yards out of that, plus a tackle solo, so Pussy's not going to complain about that. But overall for the Raiders, it's not going to do too much for them. It's going to get them slightly closer to that field goal range, though. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to look for a pass. He's going to receive a block from Josh Jacobs on the right, and Randy Gregory is just going to get right through, and that's going to be another sack for the Broncos by a mix of Randy Gregory and Frank Clark. The sack's going to get credited to Frank Clark, not Randy Gregory, though, as Randy Gregory actually had the tackle broken from him by Jimmy Garoppolo. That's going to push the Raiders completely out of field goal range, and they're going to have to punt now. overall, fantastic few sacks for Mr. Steeler Girls Denver Broncos. This is going to be a punt. It's going to land at about the Broncos' 6-yard line. A fantastic punt right there. Could not have been much better than that. Maybe a few yards closer to the end zone, but overall, you're not complaining if you're a Raiders fan there. Max Crosby still has his X factor. Let's see what the Broncos do. 1st and 10, pinned at their own 6. First play is going to be a handoff up the middle. This is going to be a run for about a yard for Javonte Williams, who's going 2 for -3. And overall, that's just going to be a plain yard worth of points. Brought down by the former defensive tackle, Matt Ioannidis. 2nd and 9 from their own 7. This is going to be a play action. Russell Wilson's looking for a pass to the right. This one's going to be caught by Mr. Steeler Girls, Jerry Jeudy. And this is going to be Max Crosby actually getting involved on the tackle for some very nice pursuit being showed off there. Pussy's guys really want him to win here. That's going to help Pussy. That's going to help Milf. And that's also going to help Mr. Steeler Girl. All three having players involved there. 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Let's see what the Broncos end up doing here. Lined up in the shotgun. It's a very common thing for the Broncos to do. Russell Wilson's dropping back. He's looking towards the left. He's going to throw it actually towards the right into double coverage. Poor decision by Russell Wilson. As if it wasn't a poor decision, he did overthrow it as well. So not a good play at all by Russell Wilson of MILF. It's funny, Russell Wilson will end up being Pussy's quarterback later in the season, but for now he's MILF's. 2nd and 10, it's going to be a handoff to Javonte Williams, who this time is going to find some success. He's going to be at a nice big pickup of about 20 yards. Looks like he might get pretty much exactly 20 yards on the rush. Maybe a little bit less, but overall, a very good run. I'm pretty happy with that one. That's going to end the first quarter. Score is 7-0. Very defensive game so far, but both teams have shown flashes on offense. And the Raiders are up 7-0 so far with that one really successful drive they had at the beginning of the game. First and 10 at the 50-yard line. Russell Wilson's going to look for a pass. He's looking down the middle. He's now looking towards the right side. He's going to get this one intended for Javonte Williams, but he's going to get tackled by 2 people and pop that ball out. 2nd and 10, no catch. See what the Broncos do here. Lined up in the I formation. They have 3 tight ends on the left. This suggests either a short pass or a run. Let's see what they end up doing. It is going to be a run to Javonte Williams to the left. He's going to get a nice pickup of about 6, maybe 5. But overall, it's a half point for myself, so I'll take it. It's going to be 3rd and 5 for these Broncos. Let's see what they end up doing here. Max Crosby has lost his X factor at that point, or at this point in the series, which, if you don't know, is an ability that players get for doing good, star players, that is. Russell Wilson's going to pass this one to the left to, I want to say that is Brandon Johnson. He's their wide receiver 3 in this game. Like I said, I bet you guys have never heard of him, but he was their wide receiver 3 in this game, and that's going to be a pickup of 5, just enough for the first down. 1st and 10 at the Raiders' 40-yard line, knocking on field goal range here. Let's see what the Broncos do here. They're going to look for a handoff to Javonte Williams to the left. He's going to break a tackle. He's going to push forward for a couple yards, and then he's going to be brought down after a pickup of about 9. A very nice run there by Javonte Williams. I'm pretty happy with that being a Javonte Williams owner, to say the least. 2nd and 1. Now they're definitely in field goal range unless they get sacked out of it. Let's see what the Broncos choose to do here. Russell Wilson's going to look for a pass. He's dropping back. He's looking to the left. He's looking for, I think that is, that's not Alberto Concanolo. That's Greg Dulcich, I believe. Actually, I was wrong. It's Adam Troutman, the tight end 2 that they ended up using. 1st and 10 at the Raiders' 26-yard line. The Broncos are starting to move. Maybe they can respond with something here. This can be another handoff to Javonte Williams, this time to the right. This is his first time getting a very nice run on the right. He's going to get a nice pickup of about 12 to 13 yards. It's actually going to be credited 14 yards on the run. Very nice run for Javonte Williams, and I'm happy with that one. Brought down by Marcus Epps, the former Philadelphia Eagle. 1st and 10, knocking on goal line range. Let's see what the Broncos end up doing here. It doesn't look like Javonte Williams is in the backfield this time, unless the jersey just looks all folded up. Russell Wilson's going to look for a pass. He's going to look down the middle. This one's going to be caught. That's going to be caught by... I actually didn't get a chance to see the number. I forget his first name, but it's Washington. I think it's Marcus Washington who's going to get a 7-yard pickup. I could be mistaken on Marcus. I think that's what it is, though. 2nd and 3 at the Broncos' 5-yard line, or at the Raiders' 5-yard line. They're going to look for a pass. This one's going towards the right. This is going to be a fantastic catch by Jerry Jeudy, or by Cortland Sutton. I'm fucking losing it. Cortland Sutton is going to get a very nice double coverage catch for a touchdown. That's Mr. Steeler Girl and MILF having a very nice play right there in the combo. On to attempt the extra point is Will Lutz, the former New Orleans Saint. And the kick is going to be up. And it's going to be good. The score is going to be 7-7 with 3:54 left in the second quarter. Broncos are going to kick this one off. It's going to land at the Raiders' left hash mark. It's going to go from the 5 towards the about 25. This is going to be a pretty nice return. He's going to fight for even more. He's going to get all the way to the 28-yard line. Pretty good return right there, and that's what the Raiders like to see. Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo, who so far in this game has looked considerably better than Russell Wilson, but let's see what ends up happening here. Jimmy Garoppolo on 1st and 10 has the 2 running back set, one being a fullback behind him in the I formation. They're going to look for a pass. He's getting blitzed heavily. He's going to throw this one out to the right and get it off just in the nick of time. This is going to be caught by Jacoby Myers for another pickup of 8. Somebody I'm surprised hasn't been seeing more gameplay so far is Davante Adams. I think he had one pretty nice catch, and so far he's been quiet outside of that. Keep in mind, watch the guy with the big X under his legs, Pat Surtain. He's a very good corner, so he's probably going to shut down whoever he's against. This is going to be a nice run for Josh Jacobs, who's going to pick up a first down before being brought down by Pat Surtain. Speak of the devil right there. But he's going to get a nice pickup of a few there and the first down for Pussy. But if you're Mr. Steeler Girl, you can't be happy with how this defense has performed so far. 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line now. I formation again. This is going to be a handoff to the right. This is going to be Josh Jacobs. He's going to do a few hesitation moves. He's going to now push forward for about 2 before being brought down by a bunch of Broncos. Hell, it looked like he kind of slipped there, but oh well. 2 minutes, 28 seconds left on the clock. Trips left. They got Josh Jacobs lined up on the right. Jimmy Garoppolo is looking for a pass. This one's going towards the right. That's going to be incomplete, and Pat Surtain is just bullying him. That was just disrespectful. That might have been a pass interference play, but you know what? We'll ignore it. It was too choppy to actually tell. It might not have actually been. I'm kind of joking. Looks like Pat Surtain's going to be lined up against Michael Meyer this time, or Austin Hooper, I'm sorry. Let's see what the Raiders end up doing here. They're going to roll to the right. They're going to pass it. And he's just going to throw this one away. Horrible decision by Jimmy Garoppolo, one of his first bad decisions of the game. And this is ultimately why he's going to end up getting benched by the end of the season here if we continue the real-life trend. So there's going to be 2 minutes and 16 on the clock, 4th and 8. The Raiders are going to punt this ball out. It's going to go out from about the 30, 31-yard line probably, maybe the 32. And they're going to get this punt off, and it's going to go to the Broncos about 11-yard line. He's just going to call the fair catch. So they're going to get it at the 12. 2 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock. The Broncos and Raiders both have all 3 timeouts. Cortland Sutton is having himself a pretty solid game so far with a touchdown and 27 yards on 2 catches. The Broncos are almost certainly running this on this play here. It looks like they're sending the 3 tight ends and the fullback out to block. And they're going to run it towards the left. It's going to be a 2-yard pickup, and that's about it. And this is going to take us to the 2-minute warning of the first half. So 2 minutes left in the first half here. Let's see if one of these teams can build themselves an advantage moving into halftime. Russell Wilson's going to line up in the shotgun right here. I doubt they're going to do much running from now on, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Russell Wilson's going to look for a pass. He's going to throw this one out to the right to Javonte Williams, who's not going to break the tackle. He's only going to get about a yard there, so it's going to make the Raiders actually be the team to call the timeout. They must be confident in their defense. Broncos on 3rd and 7, looking for a pass. They're going to look for the screen to the left to Javonte Williams, who's going to catch it, get a nice few couple blocks. He's going to get the first down and many, many more, and that timeout all of a sudden is going to cost the Raiders. It's going to be a 1st and 10. Broncos still have all 3 timeouts and 1 minute and 45 left of clock. Now they're at their own 26-yard line. That timeout for the Raiders proving to be very costly here. Let's see what the Broncos choose to do here. It looks like they're actually kind of milking a little clock themselves. Looks like they're milking all the clock. It looks like Russell Wilson's going to look for a pass. He's going to throw this one deep to the left. That's going to be broken up. I think that was intended for Cortland Sutton of Mr. Steeler Girl, but that one's going to be broken up right there, and this is going to lead to 2nd and 10. Broken up by Nate Hobbs, who will probably play a bigger impact in the fantasy side of things as the season goes on, but for now, no. 2nd and 10 from their own 26-yard line. Russell Wilson's looking for a pass. He's going to look to the right. That's going to be caught to the right. That's going to be Cortland Sutton, who's going to fight forward for maybe the first down after breaking 2 tackles. No, he's going to be a yard short. Broncos are going to call a timeout. 3rd and 1 at their own 35-yard line. 58 seconds remain on the clock. Let's see what Russell Wilson decides to do here. He's going to throw this one to the left. That's going to be caught for the first down, just barely by Greg Dulcich, the tight end one for the Broncos. Let's see what they end up doing here. Will they call a timeout? They're going to save their timeouts. 40 seconds left. Lining up in the shotgun formation. Let's see what Russell Wilson can do. 36 seconds left. This is going to be a play action. Max Crosby's going to get the sack on him, though. Huge, huge play for Pussy's Max Crosby right there, who's now playing the guitar. 8 seconds, and it looks like the Broncos are just going to kill this clock out. And it looks like Max Crosby has that X factor right back. So that's going to help Pussy as the game goes on. But for now, Russell Wilson's just going to take one last shot to get some brownie points, maybe. Oh my God, and Cortland Sutton just got smacked. We're going to go into halftime, and overall, what all that drive pretty much meant is Pussy got himself a free sack. I got myself a free point. And then he also has the X factor on Max Crosby now. So that's pretty good news for Pussy, pretty bad news for me moving forward. But we'll just have to wait and see. The Broncos do get the ball first, though. So let's see what happens here. Looks like they're going to return it to the left. He's going to cut towards the middle now after getting to the 21-yard line, and he's going to get to the 22 and be brought down. Here comes the Broncos back out. Javonte Williams averaging 6.8 yards per carry. Absolutely very good game for him, especially given the fact he's against Max Crosby. Which, to be fair, Max Crosby is pretty much the only good player on that D-line in this specific game. Javonte Williams, he's going to run to the right again. He's going to get a nice, another very good pickup, about 9 yards on the carry, and he's going to keep improving that average. I think he's up to about 7 yards per carry now. If not, he's close. But overall, he's having himself a game. 2nd and 1 at their own 30-yard line now. Russell Wilson's going to hand this one off to the left to Javonte Williams, who's going to get the first down again. He's only going to get a couple, though, about 4, but that's going to hurt his yards per carry, but I'll take it. That's worth about just under half a fantasy point right there. 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line now. The Broncos are suggesting that they're going to be doing a pass here, but we'll see what they end up doing. They have 2 tight ends lined up. It's actually going to be a halfback draw, and he's going to get absolutely nowhere. The reason you don't want to run there, and the reason I said they're going to be looking for a pass, is because the Raiders were stacking the box while they had 2 tight ends ready for a pass play. So overall, that was kind of a stupid decision by the Broncos, but either way, Russell Wilson's going to look for a pass. He's going to look down the middle. He's going to roll out to the right. He's trying to run away from Max Crosby and co. Russell Wilson's just going to end up throwing this one away. 3rd and 10 at the Broncos' 35-yard line now. Something interesting here is first-round pick Tyree Wilson ended up starting over Chandler Jones in this game and didn't do anything in real life. He's yet to do anything in this game either, though. Broncos looking for a pass on 3rd and 10. Max Crosby's coming in with that pressure. He's going to force a fumble and get a sack, and it's going to be recovered. I can't tell who got the recovery. Former Carolina Panther Matthew Ioannidis. So that's going to lose Milf quite a few points and gain Pussy quite a few points. So overall, that's going to be very good news. Max Crosby is looking no different than he looks in real life so far in this game. And the Raiders are already in field goal range. Let's see what they end up doing here. First play is going to be it's going to be a play action. It's going to be looking for a pass to the left. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to just miss his receiver. I think that was Jacoby Meyer. He just missed. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 from the Broncos' 27-yard line now. They're still in field goal range, and they just have to not turn the ball over, and they should be able to get some nice points. Looks like they got Hunter Renfrow in at the slot as well on this play, which they haven't done too much so far. This is going to be a handoff to the right to Josh Jacobs, who's going to be brought down by a mix of Pat Surtain and one more Bronco. I didn't see the other one. But overall, a pickup of 2 for Pussy. Not too much there, though. 3rd and 8 at the Broncos' 25-yard line. This is going to be all up to Jimmy Garoppolo. The Broncos are going to be faking a blitz. It looks like Jimmy Garoppolo is going to pick up on that, and he's going to throw it to the left. And that's going to be incomplete. Not on the same page with his receiver. I think that was Devontae Adams, if I'm not mistaken. 4th and 8, and the Raiders are going to have to settle for a field goal. This is mixed news if you're Mr. Steeler Girl. You're going to probably get the field goal for having Daniel Carlson, but you're going to get hurt because it's going to be counted as points against your team defense. But we'll see. The kick is up, and it is good. That is a good kick right there. So the score is 10-7 after the forced fumble caused by Max Crosby. The Raiders really aren't able to move much on offense, but they are able to get the field goal because of the fumble, though. The Raiders are going to kick it off now. The ball is going to end up landing at the Broncos. We'll see here. At about the back of the end zone. He would be a fool to return it from there, yeah. He's just going to take the knee. They're still showing off Javonte Williams, who's still averaging well over 5 yards per carry at about 6 yards per carry. Very nice game for him so far. Max Crosby still has that X factor, especially after making that sack and forced fumble right there. It's going to be a handoff to Javonte Williams up the middle, who's going to get a nice pickup of about 9. Javonte Williams continues his tear. Maybe he's able to do this all season. I guess we'll find out. He's looking very good. I think if you're me or Pussy in this specific game, this is a big game for both of us, but so far both our players are popping off. It's definitely helping Pussy more, but I'm still happy to see this moving forward. Russell Wilson's going to look for a pass here. That's going to be caught by... I actually don't even know who that is. I think that might be the Washington guy, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's Brandon Johnson, the wide receiver 3 from this game, having 2 catches for 13 yards. Overall pickup of the first down for MILF's Russell Wilson, though. This is going to be a handoff to the left for Javonte Williams, who's going to cut right into the guy tackling him. What a horrible run there. After such a fantastic start to this game, he's going to lose 5 yards on the game. He's had 3 really bad runs so far, but the rest has been amazing. It's just been a matter of losing yards or gaining them. Boomer bust player right here so far. 2nd and 15, Max Crosby has the X factor back. This is going to be a pass to the right. Javonte Williams is going to catch it. He's going to fight forward for just getting back to the line of scrimmage, but overall it's worth a fantasy point for me. Now the Raiders are doing push-ups. 3rd and 15 from their own 36-yard line. Let's see what these Broncos can do here. Max Crosby sitting there with the X factor, has one-on-one coverage right here against Mike McGlinchey, the former 49er. Russell Wilson's going to roll out to the left, and Max Crosby's right there for the pressure again, but Russell Wilson's going to get this one away. Broncos are going to have to punt this one. Max Crosby has just been hell on these Broncos so far. And hell, he's probably going to win Pussy's game against me, but I guess we'll see. Broncos on to attempt the punt. Max Crosby's even on the special teams unit. Maybe he's going to block the punt. You never know. Punt's going to go from the Broncos about 33-yard line, go all the way to the Raiders about 19. He's going to return it to the left and get back up to the 21. I apologize, that wasn't the 19, it was about the 14. So overall, 7-yard return on the punt, pretty solid. 1st and 10, 2 minutes 25 in the 3rd quarter from their own 21-yard line. See what Jimmy Garoppolo can do here. They were shut out last time whenever they were on offense, having to settle for the field goal. Jimmy Garoppolo on a high snap is going to do a play action. He's going to look for a pass. He's going to look for the left side. Let's see what ends up happening here. That's going to be caught by Jacoby Myers after a pickup of about 19. Very nice play there. Well, it's not really a nice play for anyone because nobody started any of those players, but it is bad news for Mr. Steeler Girl giving up a free 19-yard gain just like that. 1st and 10. This is going to be a handoff to Josh Jacobs to the left, who's going to be immediately brought down after a loss of 2 for Pussy. You're not happy to see that if you're Pussy, but that is a nice tackle for loss for Mr. Steeler Girl. Brought down by DJ Jones, the defensive tackle. Josh Jones getting chippy with Alex Singleton. Maybe if I'm lucky, they'll get into a fight. Both get ejected, and Pussy will be out 2 players. 2nd and 12 from their own 38-yard line. And he's going to be sacked by a mix of Zach Allen and I want to say Randy Gregory. Very, very nice play right there for these Broncos. On the defensive plays right there, the Raiders O-line cannot keep Jimmy Garoppolo protected. 3rd and 20 now from their own 30-yard line. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to look for a pass, but he's going to get sacked by Alex Singleton. Back-to-back sacks for Mr. Steeler Girl, and now a sack for Pussy. Pussy is making an absolute run right here so far with these points, having his players absolutely go off, especially his defensive ones. 4th and 30, they're going to have to punt from their own 20-yard line. The punt's going to go out from their own about 9.5-yard line. It's going to go to the Broncos' 30-yard line exactly. He's going to return it to the right for about 2, maybe 3, and he's going to get to the 30-yard line, to the 33-yard line. 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Broncos yet again have a 2 tight end set on the left. Let's see what they end up doing here. And they are going to run. Javonte Williams is going to lose 2 here. It kind of looked like he got back to the line of scrimmage, but I guess not. He's going to lose 2 there. Brought down by Divine Diablo of Booty Basher. Haven't really said his name too much. He's been making tackles, but he hasn't really made any big plays so far. The Broncos are just going to let this go into the 4th quarter. 10-7 is the score so far in this very defensive battle. Both teams having defensive players making plays left and right. Both offensive lines have struggled significantly, and both quarterbacks have done okay, but have made some very questionable decisions, to say the least. But overall, no interceptions thrown or anything like that. Just one forced fumble caused by Max Crosby and picked up by Matt Ioannidis. 2nd and 12, the Broncos are going to look for a pass here. Russell Wilson stepping up in the pocket. He's going to throw this one to the right, caught by Javonte Williams, who's going to fight forward for a pickup of 5. Javonte Williams is getting plenty of work when it comes to these receptions, keeping me in the race so far against Pussy when it comes to these sacks Max Crosby and everybody else keeps getting. 3rd and 7 at their own 36-yard line. Max Crosby is sitting there with that X factor, though. Russell Wilson's going to look for a pass to the right. There's going to be a flag on the play. This is going to be caught by Cortland Sutton, who's going to be brought down after a pickup of probably at least 30 yards right there. But this is probably coming back on a hold if I had to guess. I didn't see who did it, but usually that's what that means. And yeah, this is going to end up being a hold. This is coming back. This is going to cause a 3rd and 17. It's going to be on right guard Quinn Maynarez. I don't know how to pronounce it. Odds are he was being lined up against Josh Tillery whenever he was doing the hold. 3rd and 17. Broncos looking for a sack. Max Crosby's coming in on the blitz again. This one's going to be caught by Cortland Sutton, and the Broncos are going to catch them with this play again, and Cortland Sutton is maybe going to go all the way here. It looks like he is. Fantastic duo so far between Milf's Russell Wilson and Mr. Steeler Girls Cortland Sutton. Just having a monster game so far, especially for Cortland Sutton. Milf and Mr. Steeler Girl are looking like they're teaming in this fantasy league so far. But overall, a lot of this is because Jerry Jeudy is not out there right now. Jerry Jeudy might end up being the guy to have later in the season. We can only wait and see. On to attempt the extra point, Will Lutz, the former Saint. The kick is good. 14-10 is the score. Overall, if I had to guess what Mr. Steeler Girls' points are looking like right now, even though they gave up 10 points and the defense has looked like it's struggled for a lot of the game, not necessarily a lot of the game, but struggled in terms of giving up a few points quick, they've really recuperated, and I think they have at least 4 sacks now. I think they have like probably 6 or 7 tackle for losses, if I had to guess. I'll check all the stats at the end of the game, but so far I would guess that the Broncos defense is doing pretty good. Also, Alex Singleton, I don't know if you caught it there, of Pussy actually was the one to make the tackle on the special teams play. The rare time where the special teams play actually gets some points for someone. But he's going to get back to the 23-yard line. 6 minutes, 6 seconds on the clock. This is going to be a handoff to Josh Jacobs to the left of Pussy, who's going to be brought down by a mix of Broncos right there. It's hard to tell who's going to get the points, but Josh Jacobs of Pussy is going to get the 9-yard gain, though. 2nd and 1 from their own 33-yard line. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to look for another handoff to Josh Jacobs. He's going to pick up the first down before being brought down by Alex Singleton of Pussy. So Pussy's getting points on both offense and defense right now, having himself a game. Maybe they're crediting that one to Josie Jewell. I thought they would credit that to Alex Singleton, though, because it's hard to say with the bar because they credited both of them. So one of them got an assist, one of them got a tackle solo, though. 1st and 10. Raiders looking for a pass. He's going to throw this one to the right. Jimmy Garoppolo's going to throw this to the right, and he's going to overthrow it. Looks like that was Hunter Renfrow. Horrible throw by Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, no shit, that was on you, buddy. You suck. 2nd and 10. From their own 39-yard line. They need a touchdown to take the lead. Looking for a pass. Jimmy Garoppolo is now looking down the middle. He's looking towards the right now. He's going to pass this to the right now. That one's going to be caught by Austin Hooper, who's going to get brought down by Pat Surtain just inches away from the first down. But overall, a nice pickup there for the Raiders. 3rd and inches. Can they pick up this first down? If I'm the Raiders, I'm probably going to be looking towards Josh Jacobs, so the Broncos should probably be stacking the box here. But let's see. It is a handoff to Josh Jacobs. He's going to pick up the first down and then be brought down instantaneously by Josie Jewell after that. But overall, it's going to be about a yard or two for Josh Jacobs. And are they going to credit that to Alex Singleton? I thought that was Josie Jewell. I thought Josie Jewell was 47, and I thought Alex Singleton was 49. Or no, I thought... I'm losing my fucking mind. I'll let you guys know at the end of the game, though. But looking for a pass is Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going to be rolling out to the left. He's getting heavily pressured by Zach Allen. He's just going to fucking slam this into his left tackle's forehead before being brought down. He's not going to get sacked, though, unfortunately for Mr. Steeler Girl, but either way. And yes, Alex Singleton is 47. Josie Jewell is 49. Josh Jacobs is looking like he's getting tired out there. The Raiders are going to look for a pass to the left. This one's going to be caught by Toxic Zenpai's Devontae Adams before being brought down quickly. But it was a first down nonetheless, worth about 2 points for Toxic Zenpai, finally getting Devontae Adams in this game. Raiders have a fullback in the backfield looking for extra support on the blocks. This is probably going to be a run to the left. Yes, it is. It's going to be a run to the left. Looks like the Raiders are going to get a block off on Josie Jewell after a pickup of 9. Pussy's going to get a nice 9-yard gain for Josh Jacobs, looking pretty happy there. And the Raiders look like they're using a decent chunk of clock, but they are moving the ball nonetheless. Zamir White is replacing Josh Jacobs in the backfield for the second one. The Raiders are going to be looking for a pass. He's going to roll out to the left. He's getting heavily pressured. Is he going to get sacked? No, he's going to get this one away just in the nick of time. 3rd and 1 at the Broncos' 31-yard line now. Zamir White remains in the backfield. Josh Jacobs must be tired from being overused. Let's see what they end up doing. They're going to play action pass. They're going to look for the pass on the left. This one's going to be batted down, intended for Devontae Adams, but it was underthrown by a lot, and overall that's going to cause a 4th and 1. Raiders have an interesting decision here on if they want to go for it or not. It looks like they are going to go for this. Let's see who the back is in the backfield. I can't tell with this angle. It's going to be Zamir White for the 3rd time. 4th and 1. This is going to be a pitch to Zamir White to the left. He's going to run to the left. He's going to pick up the first down before being brought down by Josie Jewell and Justin Simmons, representing my team and Rictatorship, respectively. It's hard to tell who's going to get credited the tackle solo and who's going to get the assist, but we'll find out at the end of the game. Josh Jacobs is back in the backfield. 3 minutes on the clock. Jimmy Garoppolo is looking for a pass here. He's looking towards the middle. He's now looking to the right. He's going to pass this to the right. That's going to be caught by Austin Hooper. He's going to run forward for the first down before being brought down by a mix of Justin Simmons and Pat Surtain. Overall, a nice play right there for a first down. 1st and 10 at the Broncos' 13-yard line. 2 minutes, 51 seconds remain. A touchdown gives them the lead. A field goal means they're probably going to lose, so they need the touchdown here because they've killed so much clock at this point. The Raiders are suggesting run here, but they do have a 2-wide out set here. Let's see what they end up doing. It is going to be a run up the middle. This is going to be Josh Jacobs who's going to fight forward for about 2. Nothing too crazy, but if you're pussy, it is going to help you a little bit for a few extra yards. Brought down by Baron Browning, the outside linebacker. 2nd 8 at the 11-yard line of the Broncos. Looking for a pass is Jimmy Garoppolo. He's looking towards the right. He's gonna get sacked. It looks like by, I actually can't tell who that is. I think that was Frank Clark on the sack, pushing the Raiders back to 3rd and 20. 2-minute warning now. 1 minute 59 on the clock. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. Jimmy Garoppolo is gonna look for a pass on 3rd and 20 here. He's stepping back in the pocket. He's really stepping back. He's rolling out to the left now. He's gonna just throw this one away. And this is probably just going to be a field goal for Daniel Carlson and Mr. Steeler Girl, but we'll see. No, they're going to go for it on 4th and 20. This is almost impossible, but let's see what they can do. 4th and 20 at the Broncos' 23-yard line. Looking for a pass. He's going to throw it deep to the right. And they left Devontae Adams bare-ass wide open. What are they doing? If you're the Broncos, you cannot leave the wide receiver 1 wide open in that situation. The Broncos just sold so hard. Huge play for Toxic Zenpai right there, getting a touchdown, and then it looks like Daniel Carlson of Mr. Steeler Girl is going to get the extra point, but I think that's not worth it because the team defense is going to lose quite a few points from that. That's not good news if you're Mr. Steeler Girl, but at least you had the kicker, though. Here we go. The Broncos have 1 minute 49 left. A field goal to tie it. All 3 timeouts do remain, though. They're just going to return this one to the right. This is probably going to be a poor decision, but let's see what he can do. Yeah, it's a poor decision. Wastes a little bit of time and loses them 3 yards compared to if he just took the knee. Courtland Sutton has been amazing so far. If he actually gets 10 yards here, he will get a bonus as well for Mr. Steeler Girl. 110 yards. The bonus requirement is 120. So if he gets 10 yards, he does have that bonus ready. So Mr. Steeler Girl has something to look forward to here. Russell Wilson's going to look for a pass. He's looking for the screen to the left. This one's going to be caught by Javonte Williams, but he's not going to pick up anything. At least I think they're going to credit him the catch. It's hard to say for sure, though. We'll find out at the end of the game, though, because it's hard to tell if they counted that as a pop-out or not. Either way, it was worth nothing. 2nd and 10 from their own 22-yard line. This is going to be a pass intended to the right. That's going to be caught by Courtland Sutton, who's going to pick up his bonus points right there. Another big play for Mr. Steeler Girl. And at this point, I could be wrong, but I think Mr. Steeler Girl has now gained the lead on Big Yawners. I could be mistaken, but I believe they have. Russell Wilson's going to look for a pass to the right. This one's going to be overthrown. It looked like he was intending Courtland Sutton yet again, the very trusted duo so far in this game. It's going to be 2nd and 10 from the Broncos' 36-yard line. 1 minute, 22 left in the game. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. Russell Wilson's looking for a pass. He's looking to the right. He's going to pass this one to Greg Dulcich, who's going to catch it. He's going to push forward for about 3, and the Broncos are going to have to waste their first timeout. 3rd and 7 at their own 39-yard line. Russell Wilson has no running back in the backfield here. Let's see what they choose to do. Russell Wilson's going to look for a pass. He's going to throw this one deeper to the left. That's going to be railed in by, I think that's Washington, who's going to run all the way for a touchdown for Milf. Huge, huge play that the Broncos absolutely needed. That's about a 70-yard touchdown right there. I think actually 60 yards right there, 61. Huge, huge play for Milf right there. I actually don't know the receiver's name. That's why I wasn't really commentating on it. I think it's Marcus Washington, though. Huge, huge play to give the Broncos back the lead and give Milf a nice touchdown against J-Bay. On to attempt the extra point for the 3rd time is Will Lutz, the former New Orleans Saint. Now the Raiders have 1 minute and 9 seconds to get a touchdown on the clock, but they do have 3 timeouts to help them, though. Let's see what they end up doing here. This is looking like a pretty damn good game, if I do say so myself. Both teams have started to shown their offensive and defensive strengths and weaknesses, to say the least. But let's see what the Raiders do here. Returning it to the right, now going towards the middle. He's going to waste 4 seconds of clock to lose a yard. That's not a good equation right there. If you're the Raiders, you need time and you need all the yards you can get. 1st and 10, 1 minute and 5 left at their own 24. Let's see what Jimmy Garoppolo decides to do. He's going to look for a pass. He's dropping back. He's stepping up into the pocket. Now he's throwing. This is going to be incomplete. Intended for Austin Hooper. 1 minute and 2 seconds left on the clock. That wasted about 4 seconds right there. 2nd and 10 at their own 24-yard line. See what they end up doing here. They have trips right, a single wide out left. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to look for a pass. He's going to throw it to the right. That's going to be caught by Jacoby Myers, who's going to make a juke move happen and pick up the first down. Pat Surtain has his X factor too, by the way. And the Raiders are going to pick up the first down. 3 timeouts do remain. 45 seconds. Clock is ticking at their own 37-yard line. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to look for a pass here. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to look for a deep pass to the middle. That's going to be caught by Austin Hooper, I think, or Hunter Renfrow. I can't really tell. I think it was Austin Hooper, though. After a very nice pickup there, they're now in the Broncos' field possession or field range now, 43-yard line here. Looking for a pass. This one's going to go to the right. This one's going to be caught to the right by Hunter Renfrow there. 1 timeout remains, 33 seconds on the clock, but they're at the Broncos' 29-yard line already. Let's see what the Raiders do here. Jimmy Garoppolo is looking for a pass. The Broncos are sending an extra few men blitz. Let's see if they can get to him. They are. That's going to be a huge sack for the Broncos. Getting brought down by a mix of Zach Allen and one more. And the Raiders are going to have to use their timeout right here. 2nd and 19 at the Broncos' 38-yard line. A touchdown is needed to win this game. But right now, all the Broncos have to do is not do what they did earlier and just let Davante Adams have a free touchdown. 2nd and 19 at the Broncos' 38-yard line. 25 seconds on the clock. No timeouts. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to get sacked again. What a fucking bull rush on the left side of that line by DJ Jones, the defensive tackle. The Raiders have 4 seconds to get one last play off. Can they get it? No, they can't. That's the end of the ball game, folks. Mr. Steeler Girl is going to end the game with a sack. Oh, man, this is to say the least, this was a good game for Mr. Steeler Girl, a good game for Pussy, a solid game for MILF. Everybody else, it was okay. Could have definitely been better. I think I was pretty happy with the results of my player, but my opponent, Pussy, his players got so many sacks and big plays. I might have really fucked me over, but we'll have to wait and see. Either way, let's go over and take a look at the actual stats here. Toxic Zenpai also had a nice touchdown with Davante Adams as well. Russell Wilson of MILF is going 17 for 26, 228 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Yeah, that's a pretty damn good game if I do say so myself. Jimmy Garoppolo went 12 for 22, 174 passing yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. In terms of rushing, you did have Russell Wilson who lost the fumble, so I'm going to have to remember to count that later in the video because it doesn't actually say here. It might say it right here. I don't think it does now. But he did lose the fumble, and I'll make sure to track that. Josh Jacobs went 13 for 86, had a touchdown. Very, very strong game on the ground. Fantastic game for Josh Jacobs. Javonte Williams went 13 for 63. Pretty solid game for him, too. He did lose some of his average by getting tackled for loss a few times. You had Courtland Sutton go 5 for 123 and 2 touchdowns. Fantastic game for Mr. Steeler Girl. On top of that, he did get that bonus just by 3 yards, but he did get the bonus. Javonte Williams had 5 catches for 14, which really salvaged his game. Jacoby Myers, 4 for 43. Austin Hooper, 4 for 59. Devontae Adams, 3 for 58 and a touchdown. Greg Dulcich went 2 for 5. Montrell Washington went 2 for 68 and a touchdown. He also had a nice bonus set of points for the 61-yard touchdown. Brandon Johnson went 2 for 13. Hunter Renfrow had a catch for 14. Adam Troutman had a catch for 5. In terms of the defense, Pat Surtain had 7 tackles on the game. You had Trayvon Moehrig, who had a pass deflect, as well as 6 tackles on the game. Alex Singleton of Pussy had 4 tackles solo, 2 tackles assist, a tackle for loss, a sack. Very good game for him. Marcus Epps had 3 tackles solo, 2 tackle assists. Duke Shelley had a tackle for loss in this game. You had Divine Diablo, who went out there, had 3 tackles solo, 3 tackle assist, a tackle for loss, and a pass deflect. A very solid game for him. Roberts Blaine had 1 tackle for loss on 4 tackles. Max Crosby, here we go. We had 3 tackles solo, 1 tackle assist, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, a forced fumble as well. That's just a Max Crosby game in a nutshell, to say the least. I don't know what to say. Baron Browning had a tackle for loss and a sack, even though he was only playing limited snaps. DJ Jones had a very nice sack, clutched up for the Broncos at the end of the game with a sack and a half and 3 tackles for loss. Then you had Caden Stearns, who went out there and had 2 tackles solo. Kareem Jackson went out there, had a tackle for loss. We're not even going to try to pronounce that guy's name. Right now I'm just kind of looking for players that actually impacted the game. Randy Gregory had 2 tackles for loss, a sack and a half. You had Justin Simmons of Rictatorship have a poor game, a tackle solo, 2 tackle assists, and that's it. Frank Clark went out there, had a tackle for loss and a sack. Josie Jewell had a tackle solo, 4 tackle assists, and a tackle for loss. Okay game for him, but he definitely got outplayed by by Alex Singleton, to say the least. You had 2 tackle for losses and a sack for Zach Allen, and I'm looking at these stats. Mr. Steeler Girl probably got a shit ton of points for the Broncos defense. We'll just have to wait and see. Matthew Ioannidis had 1 tackle assist, but he also had the fumble recovery, though. And then in terms of the defensive side of things, I think that's just about it. Then we'll take a look at the kicking. Daniel Carlson went out there and had, actually had a field goal made. I think he had 2 extra points. And the field goal he actually made was from 40 to 49 yards out, just so Mr. Steeler Girl knows. And then in terms of the kick returns for Mr. Steeler Girl, he's going to get 63 return yards for Marvin Mims with that team defense. And he is going to get an additional 2 on the punt return. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll make sure I check all the stats and all that stuff at the end of the game, because there was a lot of stats to be put up, especially by the defensive players in this game. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed. And this will probably be my last video until the weekend, give or take. But either way,